everyone, it's Ryan Devin with the Devin team here at Keller Williams, and today I'm going to talk to you something that is near and dear to my heart. That is establishing long-term wealth generation and doing that through real estate. So what do I mean? What is long-term wealth generation? Well, this is how the wealthy have done it, right? They own a property, they control a property, and then when the need changes or they need to move, they hang on to the property and move to the next thing. They don't ultimately sell it. It makes it so you look back and after years, a family or or an individual could have essentially a portfolio of properties that they are sitting on. So how do you go about establishing long-term wealth generation through real estate? Do you need to have piles and piles of cash to do this? No, the answer is no, you really don't. The quickest and simplest path to long-term wealth generation is looking at your primary home right now. So if you currently are in a position where you own your home, you can have a mortgage on it, that's totally fine, but you own your home, and let's say you've owned it for, I don't know, let's just make an example, the past 7 years. You've seen a nice amount of appreciation on that home over the course of those 7 years. So you say, okay, great. Well, we'd like to move to a different neighborhood, or we'd like a little bit bigger of a house. Okay. Normally, what most people are going to do at that point is they're going to go and they're going to sell the home that they currently are living in and move to the next one. This is where I want you to shift your thinking as you're looking at long-term wealth generation through real estate. So when that time comes and it's time to move, instead of saying, great, let's sell the home, you hang on to the home. Hang on to that home that you've had for the past 7 years in my example, and make the move to the next one. Rent out the current home that you have right now, and realistically, you should be earning enough rent that it would cover the mortgage, so you're essentially making a profit each month. But even if the profit's not big, that's okay, and I'll tell you why. But again, you're making profit each month on that rent, and then you move into the new home. Then you're going to rinse and repeat that cycle as time goes on. So another, call it 5 years down the road, great, it's time to move, time to get a little bit more space, new neighborhood, whatever that is, time to move, you're going to go ahead and turn that second home into a rental as well and move to your next one. So now you're sitting on 3 homes over the course of 5 to 7 years, hypothetically, that you now are in control of. And when I was saying, do you need to be making a big profit each month? No, you don't. Yes, obviously, is that preferable to make a sizable profit each month over the mortgage? You bet it is. But if you're not there, that is okay. Because what you're doing is you're riding the long-term appreciation wave. I mean, no one has looked at a piece of real estate that they bought 40 years ago and saying, gosh, geez, I really wish I wouldn't have bought that 40 years ago. It hasn't made any money, or hasn't appreciated in value. That's not the case. You look at real estate and you look at the real estate cycles and trends, the chart goes up over the course of time. Yes, are there dips where things go up, go down? You betcha there are. But at the end of the day, you look back on a 20 or a 40-year cycle, that path goes up. So you're going to ride that appreciation wave. So even if your monthly mortgage payment is just being covered by the rent that's in there, so you're really not profiting much each month, that's okay because you're going to be riding the appreciation wave. So if the home was worth, say, $450,000 today, you ride that appreciation wave, and 5 years from now, that $450,000 home is sitting at $600,000. Okay, great. Think of that. You've just made that equity versus giving that to a new homeowner when you went to sell it. Now, hanging on to these properties for years over years can help you establish a portfolio of rentals. Now, what do you do with these rentals? Well, how are we establishing long-term wealth generation? Well, by hanging on to these rentals, it enables you to have freedom and flexibility. So let's say you've done this for a few years and you're just looking back and, okay, great, I've got 7 homes that I have control over the past 15 years through going through this process. Well, you now have these assets that have appreciated in value. You've been appreciating and making money on them. Even though you have mortgages, you're making money on them on a monthly basis. And 15 years from now, great. Okay, you know what? Hey, we want to send the kids to college, or we need to pay for retirement, or whatever the case may be. there's an opportunity right there where you can now sell those assets, have them work for you, and fund your life moving forward. So when someone calls me and they say, Ryan, great, hey, I want to move, let's sell my home, this is the reason why my initial reaction is, wait, do you really need to sell your home? And look, I get it. Some people don't want to be landlords, and I totally respect that, and that's fine. It can be a challenge. There are ways around that, right? You can hire property managers to come, and property managers can take those phone calls for you and manage the tenants, and that's entirely fine as well. However, it's something I'm going to have a conversation with you about if the opportunity arises, because I think it's a scenario that you really do need to look at when you're thinking about making a move. Don't just sell the home. How can you have that benefit you and potentially help you make long-term equity gains? It's how the wealthy get wealthy. So if this is something that strikes you as interesting, even just the slightest little bit, right? Like you're saying, I wonder if that's possible. Is that something that I could do? I could be open to that idea. Well, this is the opportunity where I would love to have a conversation with you, and let's map it out. Let's map out what this looks like to establish a path of long-term wealth generation, and to do that through real estate. We can look at your specific scenario. Great, let's look at your home specifically. How much equity do you have? What does this process look like? So if this sounds interesting, let's have a conversation. I would be honored to do so. Again, my name is Ryan Devin, owner of the Devin team here at Keller Williams. You can reach me at 303-579-9428 or reach out on my website, thedevonteam.com. That's DEVIN, thedevonteam.com. Take care. Thanks. Bye-bye.